Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kasper and you are watching yet another video of my English speaking practice session. Today is the day number 37. I wish I had recorded my videos in a daily order, but life's been busy and I don't find enough spare time to do it. So it is what it is. But it looks like in today's episode, it looks like I'm going to dive into my high school memories. It might be an interesting subject to discuss, we shall see. Alright, without any further ado, let's jump right in. The first question that I'm going to answer is, who was your favorite teacher in high school? That's a good one. The first person that comes to my mind is my history teacher. Her name was Natalia, and at that time she was about 30 years old. I'm not sure. I never asked her that question about her age, obviously. And she was special in some regards. What do I mean by that is that she was the only teacher, and that I know how it may sound, but just stay with me. She was the only teacher that believed in me in high school. So, because let's face it, I wasn't the most cleverer student in my classroom. And I was lazy and stubborn. I didn't see any value in education. And she was the only teacher that saw potential in me. I'm really grateful about it to her, but during that time, uh, I wasn't able to appreciate it. I understood it much later as an adult, but by then I wasn't able to understand it at all. And it should have been really frustrating for her, because let's take me as an example. Uh, she did her best to do something for me, to motivate me to do his studies and to get a decent education, but I refused completely to do it. As I'm thinking about it right now, it must be extremely frustrating. By the way, um, I graduated from university and my specialization is I'm a history teacher by education. I have that degree, but I've never worked as a teacher at school. And all I want to say is that I don't regret it. That was my life choice. Maybe it was silly, or maybe even I should have called it stupid, but I don't know where I'm going with this. All I want to say is that I have a degree, a history degree from university, and by education, my specialization is that I'm a history teacher, but I've never worked at school. That's it. So my favorite teacher was my history teacher. She was funny and clever as well, and maybe to a degree I can call her easygoing as for a teacher. Of course, she had a great sense of humor, and I hold her in high regards, even after many years, because I finished my school 12 years ago. Time really flies, especially when you are an adult. Moving on to another question. What was your favorite subject in high school? I don't want to repeat myself, but you might have already guessed it, but by my previous speech, my previous monologue, that my favorite subject in high school was, of course, history. Um, Actually, it's a funny story about the way that I got interested in history, because during that exceptionally hot summer, I believe it was in the year 2011. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but let me count it. Yes, 2011. So 15 years ago. I was bored stiff at home. I had nothing to do. At that times we didn't have a computer at home. The only thing I had to sorry about that. The only thing to entertain myself was my TV. And you can't watch TV all day, can you? I couldn't at that time. So um, I went to the cellar and I looked for some school textbooks of my elder brother. So I brought home those textbooks, and the one that I got interested in the most was a high school history textbook. So I read it and read another one, and when I came back to school, um, to my surprise, I knew all the answers at history classes. So I knew all the answers and even more on that, and even more of that. Sorry, I'm stumbling while speaking. I can't express myself. I hope you don't mind. So yeah, and by the way, I'm well aware that my hair is disheveled. It's high time for me to cut it because combing my hair doesn't seem to work. So the best thing that I can do with my hair is to cut them out off. But I digress. So where was I? What I was talking about? Yeah, I can't remember it. So quickly I realized that uh, I know pretty much everything that my history teacher history teacher tried to teach me, and she and my history teacher at that time sent me to some competition. I don't know how to say it, like a competition of knowledge about the subject, and I got a really high, and I took a really high place. I was in the top 10, I guess, in the county, in the voivodeship, as it is called in Poland. So I was pretty successful at that time with my studies, but history was the only subject that I was good at. You should see my school certificate. I mean, a certificate that I got when I finished my school, and it all was D, 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 and 1A from history. So that's a funny thing. And yeah, I continued my passion for my interest in history during the high school years, but I was never really passionate about it. It was just like I didn't know what to do with my life, and and that times I think many people can relate, because I didn't know many people, many students in high school that knew what they are going to do with their lives. To be perfectly honest, I still don't know. And by the way, I'm 30 years old, so I'm still looking for the purpose. Right, moving on. Do you still remember what happened on your first day of high school? Hmm, to be honest, I only have vague memories of my first day of high school. Mm, the first thing that struck me was the fact that there were only 6 boys in my class and 27 girls, and most of them were actually pretty. So I was pleased by that fact. And what else can I remember? The day was sunny, and that's it. Oh, no, actually, no. I remember as well the face of my headmaster. But is it an important fact? I guess it isn't, but I'm trying to remember things. I'm not the sort of person that uh, tries to remember things. And I want you to understand me. And what do I mean by that? Uh, I'm the kind of person that just moves on. When one period of my life is finished, I move on. I don't remember things. I don't deliberately remember things, I should say. I don't have many photos because I've never felt any need for taking snaps. You can call me weird, and to a degree you may be right, but taking snaps was never important for me. It was never something that I appreciate. I have some valuable memories in my head, but I don't feel any necessity to have them in pictures, to have pictures of them. So, the funny fact about me. And can I remember anything else from the first day of my high school? Not really. Like I said, I have only some misty memories, some vague memories. Do you still keep in touch with your friends from high school? No, definitely no. I used to, but I lost touch with the last of my high school friends a few months ago, and I don't regret it. Um, I know that I shouldn't really say it about my friend, and I might be wrong, but it seems to me that he's a bit toxic, and I don't find his friendship important anymore. He has such a bad influence on me. So I decided to end that relationship. Mm, that's a sad story because actually not. I do believe that if someone has a bad influence on you, that you should end a relationship with that person. But to your own good, you should do it. So that's my opinion. If you agree, that's great. If you disagree, I get it. Mm, I lost touch with my university friends as well. Um, it happened just after I graduated. Like I said, I'm the person that just moves on. If one period of my life ends, I jump right into the next one. I don't know if that's a good phrase in English, but in Poland we say it, let me translate it, that we burn bridges. I might check that phrase if that was a correct one in English. But in Polish we say that we burn bridges. and it means to cut out the contact completely, to lose touch with someone deliberately, in the way that doesn't allow you to come back, like everything is finished, all the relationship. I'm sitting in an awkward position, sorry. So I lost touch with my university friends as well, and again, I don't regret it at all, because I quickly realized that they weren't good guys. Mhm. Maybe you can argue that the problem was in me, and you may be right, of course. But I'm telling the story from my own perspective. Moving on. Do you miss your life in high school? Not at all. I've said it many times, and I'm starting to think that I go in cycles, repeating myself, but I don't miss anything. I move on. And the same goes for high school. But to be honest, I don't have many warm memories. Thinking of high school doesn't put a smile on my face. I don't mean that it makes me sad or anger. I feel nothing. It was just the period of my life that ended many years ago. Sorry, I need to scratch myself. Uh, so yeah, I don't miss my life in high school. I don't have many uh, wonderful memories, let's put it this way. Mm, the only interesting thing, actually, there are a few interesting things that I remember from my high school, and the most important lesson that I got from that time is something about relationship, because during my high school years, for the first time and the last time actually in my life, I was heartbroken. I fell in love with that wonderful girl. Her name doesn't matter, and I learned my lesson. And the most important lesson about that was that no means no. I know it may sound silly, but if you think about it for a moment, it doesn't. Because to a young man in love, a teenage boy in love, that guy can't accept no as an answer. Uh, I remember myself. I wasn't able to accept it. Um, I wasn't able to understand it even. Let's say it this way. Because how? My feelings towards her are so strong and genuine, and she just didn't care. As a grown up, of course, I understand that that was exactly what happened. So that was the most important lesson, because I had some conclusions about that, and thanks to that bad experience, um, I became a better man. So I'm really grateful about it to her. Like, she didn't do much, because I got rejected, but I did some good conclusions. I made some good conclusions, let's say. I am not sure which version is correct, which phrase is correct, which collocation. Sounds alright. Mm, and so that was the most important experience that I had during my high school years. Um, the experience of rejection and dealing with it and moving on. And first of all, thanks to that experience, like I said, I became a better man, and that's why I have now I'm in a relationship with a young, beautiful, smart, wonderful girl. So who's the winner? I am the winner. Another thing that I learned from high school. I think it's going to sound harsh, but I truly believe that I got scarred emotionally in high school. What do I mean by that is the fir- uh, the most devastating thing that I learned in high school is to not to believe in myself. My high school ruined my self-confidence, and it took me years to rebuild it. Uh, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that my favorite teacher was my history teacher, and because of that, he was special because of the simple fact that she believed in me. She saw my true potential, and she rooted for me to not to waste my life. Um, I couldn't have appreciated it at that time. I wasn't ready to it, but now as an adult, uh, I'm so grateful to her because he was the only one who believed in me. And let's face it, I had bad unprofessional teachers in high school. Uh, I was bullied by two of them, not one, but two of them. Can you imagine that? What would it do for a teenager to be bullied not only by his um, classmates and by teachers as well? hmm Can you imagine the devastating impact on emotional health? So, so yeah, so I don't miss it, definitely. That's the reason. Um, in high school, nothing good happened to me. Honestly, I know, uh, I may sound like I'm moaning and bitching, but I'm not the sort of person that complains and moans. I'm just telling you a story. I'm sharing my thoughts in an honest way with you. Because the great thing about this YouTube channel is that it's the place that I can be honest with you, and first, I can be honest with myself. Mhm. Let's say it's a sort of, I don't know how to call it even, therapy, maybe to a degree. It's the place that I can share my thoughts, to think over some memories, some experiences. So, creating this YouTube channel was a great idea. And if I can improve my English by doing this as well, two birds, one stone. So, yeah, uh, as uh, I said it a few moments ago, that high school ruined my self confidence. Um, it ruined my belief in myself, belief in my abilities, belief in my abilities, and it destroyed completely my social skills because I didn't have any friends. And after finishing school, I hold a grasp of myself. I hope you get the point. You get the sorry. I hope you get the general point of what I'm saying now. Um, After finishing school, I reconsidered my life for the first time. Um, and I decided to make a significant change to my life. So I went out of my basement and not literally basement. I mean that I was lonely. I mean. So I got out of my basement, I put myself out there, and I started trying to make connections with people, to find friends, acquaintances. And let me tell you that it was so cringy, extremely cringy. I had a label of some weird guy because, and I know exactly the reason for it. Um, I mentioned it in I'm sure I mentioned in many of my previous videos, and I mentioned the fact that I come from a deprived home. Um, my family has a long-lasting, um, no, let's say it that way. My family has a long-lasting legacy of alcoholism. As far as I can remember, my parents, my grandparents, great grandparents, they all were alcoholics. And they didn't teach me anything. I mean, any social skills, etc. So, and I didn't learn it at school as well. So, I had to make a deliberate effort to learn those skills as an adult, and obviously I ended up being cringy in too many situations. But let me tell you that I learned it, and currently I'm a pretty skillful person in terms of um, emotional education. I mean, I'm emotionally self-aware person, and I'm good at small talk. I can easily make connections, but I had to work really hard to achieve it. And like I said, uh, while trying to develop those skills, in most of the cases I ended up being cringy. I even had a reputation of some weird cringy guy. But it's the price I was willing to pay in order to learn these skills that I found essential for me. Sorry. Yeah, I badly need a haircut, but I don't care. My girlfriend promised me that she will do it yesterday because she does my haircut. So, is there anything else I want to add? So maybe let me sum up this video in a few words. High school isn't the most happy period of my life. Um, I met some wonderful people, like my high school history teacher, and but I met as well many not so good teachers, and the same goes with another pupils. Many of them had tons of potential. They were good people, but many of them weren't so good people. Hmm. Um, as I've said, mm, I don't remember many things from my high school years because I don't want to. There's nothing to come back for. That period of my life is over. I moved on, and I don't miss really anything about that period of my life. Uh, Actually, I do believe that the best period of my life is now. Yeah, as I'm thinking about it, I come to a realization that it's true. Now is the best period of my life. It can be hard at times because life can be hard sometimes, but overall life is good. So yeah, let's finish this video on a positive note. I've just hit the 30-minute mark on my video, so I've been recording this video for over 30 minutes now. So it's a really good feeling to be able to speak on the camera for 30 straight minutes. Even though I stumble all the time, I lack words, my grammar is bad, and so on. But I hope I can express myself quite clearly for you to understand it. And as they say, practice makes perfect. So let's leave it here. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.